Their comment to me was, quote, LOL, stalking is narcissistic behavior. LOL, check yourself, honey. Hey, Survivor. Welcome to episode 131 of the Vibrant Survivor podcast. Today, we're going to talk about how accusations of stalking the narcissist in your life can trigger self-blame, shame, and confusion. But first, let's self-regulate with a 4-for-8 breathing exercise, if you'd like. We'll inhale for 4, hold for 4, and exhale for 8. Ready? Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How does it feel to breathe with intention? Grab your notebook and pen, and let's dig in. Hey, Survivor. Welcome to the Vibrant Survivor podcast. Do you want to disconnect from a narcissistic or toxic situation and heal? Are you Googling how to identify a narcissist, narcissistic abuse, and boundaries? Are you feeling stressed and lonely while trying to avoid being sucked back in and lied to again? Hey, I'm Lesley. As a busy wife and mom, I fell for the lies and manipulations of narcissists. I wasted my time, talents, and money on users who kept moving the goalposts. I wanted real relationships and business opportunities and to enjoy life with my family. Instead, I struggled with anxiety, panic attacks, and insomnia, and I couldn't trust my body or anybody until I took a holistic approach to healing. In this podcast, you'll find tips for healthy living, trauma healing, and boundaries so that you'll have the freedom, confidence, and inner peace to respond, not react, after narcissistic abuse. Take a deep breath in, let it out slowly, and just relax. This time's for you. Someone recently accused me of stalking a narcissistic individual in my life, past life, to be specific, just because I told the truth in great detail and with receipts. So, Survivor, if you've ever second-guessed yourself while trying to protect your peace after narcissistic abuse, I hear you, I see you, and I've got you. There was a commenter on a post that I shared about a grandiose female narcissist and fake friends. Their comment to me was, quote, LOL, stalking is narcissistic behavior. LOL, check yourself, honey, end quote. And initially, I was confused. I was like, what? Like, what are you talking about? I just laid out this entire relationship that was several years long and all of these different things that happened and all of these things that were said. I established the pattern, yada, yada, yada. And so I was confused. I was kind of thrown off guard because there are all these comments where people are like, oh my gosh, I can totally relate. Oh my gosh, that's it. This is me. Here's how I can relate. And I just thought it was so weird. I clicked on this commenter's profile and yeah, it became very clear to me that even though it was tempting to want to clap back, that it would not land. They wouldn't get it. They wouldn't care. And that my efforts to try to clarify what this content was about and my relationship with this grandiose female and other fake friends, it wouldn't even work. And I made the decision to hide the comment. Even after starting to type a response, I just thought, no, we're not going to do this. And instead, I just chose to let it go and to just hide the comment. So a lot of times, as survivors, we are often accused of doing what our abusers are actually doing. And this could be by people who have no clue and are super far removed from the situation, or even people who are in close proximity. And another thing to consider is that gaslighting by complete strangers even though they are far removed from the situation, and even if it's apparent that they have no clue what they're talking about, it can still sting or make you feel some kind of way, especially when you're actively healing or when you have healed and you've put in the work and pieced everything together, figured out who and what you were dealing with, gotten away, gone no contact, shut it down. It can still make you feel some kind of way. Another thing to consider is that it might be helpful to reframe the situation and, instead of stooping to the random commenter's level, choosing personal growth, allowing yourself to know what you know, feel what you feel, and just not letting their unwillingness, refusal, or just ignorance in not validating you or invalidating you control how you feel, think, and behave. So, with that being said, let's talk a little bit about the difference between stalking and doing your due diligence. Oftentimes, as survivors, we realize after we're out of the narcissistically abusive or toxic relationship that we did not do our due diligence. And I am right there with you. There have been so many times when I just let people in my life unchecked or allowed behavior to continue unchecked and realized later, boy, I should have shut that down, or I shouldn't have even engaged, or I should have done a little bit more homework, a little bit more research, asked some more questions. So to be clear, stalking involves repeated unwanted contact and there's an intention there to control, threaten, or intimidate someone. Also, there's like an invasion of privacy with an obsession attached to it. And stalking may also involve actively following someone. It may involve harassing them or monitoring them without their consent. And I think that the main thing to look for, survivor, is intention. Self-protection or doing your due diligence, on the other hand, includes researching to understand what has happened to you. This could include reviewing old messages. Maybe you've got all the text messages that were exchanged, social media posts, even public records, or criminal records or background reports that can help you to make sense of the red flags, even the ones that you missed. It can also involve checking patterns or verifying timelines or relationships or mutual connections to gain clarity and even regain your self-trust. And as survivors, we can often engage in these types of behaviors. Our brains are wired to keep us safe, to look out for threats. And so things like reviewing histories or processing trauma, trying to, reestablish some kind of timeline, some kind of cognitive safety, like that's very real. And, our bodies and brains are trying to protect us and identify threats all the time. So there's nothing wrong with you. Something's happened to you. You're not obsessed. You are simply rebuilding your story and trying to stay safe. Some of the common traps that can cause you to self-gaslight can include the following. You might have been trained to blame yourself, maybe in your upbringing. It's your fault. How could you do this? Why'd you do this? Or you're always doing this. Also, the narcissist may have constantly flipped the script in your relationship. And so you may have been conditioned to be fearful of, say, standing up for yourself. Also, you might have internalized some of the labels that were given to you, whether it's by say during your upbringing, around family, or in the context of narcissistic or toxic relationships, like you're so dramatic, or you're just too much, or you're obsessive, or you're so silly, and other devaluing type labels. Also, trolls or even uninformed bystanders can throw around terms that silence you, that make you feel small, that cause you to feel insecure. So those are things to keep in mind. Here are some tips for navigating this type of dynamic. One is to pause before you respond. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Also, decide whether to block, hide, or ignore this type of feedback or these types of comments. In my case, I chose to hide the comment after deciding that it wasn't worth my time or energy to clap back. It's tempting though. Number 2, name your intent. Ask yourself, am I researching because I want revenge or because I need clarity? There is so much chaos and confusion in narcissistic and toxic relationships. It can really scramble your brain. And you may be in a situation where you are literally fighting for clarity to shake off and get rid of or eliminate the confusion in your mind, the lies, the gaslighting, all the things, even the love bombing, so that you can really take a step back and look at the whole picture. I've done this before, and it was eye-opening. I don't know if you've experienced this or not, but I know in one case, when I really cut things off, step back, look at the whole situation, I realized in a couple of narcissistic or toxic relationships, actually, that everything was a lie from the get-go. And not only that, but that I was specifically targeted for the abuse. Number 3, protect your peace. You can do this by unfollowing, muting, deleting, or just limiting your screen time in general so that you're not exposing yourself to that kind of toxicity. You can also avoid obsessing or reliving moments that specifically hurt you and maybe reframe those moments. Or you can work through or process those things through a program or through talk therapy or something like EMDR, where you can replace those toxic memories with positive memories. Number 4, honor your process. Everyone's different, and your process is unique to you, and you are allowed to look back in order to move forward. There is nothing wrong with that. And I have absolutely done it. And it's not about staying stuck. It's about just evaluating and learning from those past experiences or from those patterns or those red flags that maybe you ignored or you were taught and trained to tolerate, so that going forward in future relationships and situations, you can choose differently. And that's a beautiful thing. Also, not letting strangers define your healing. Your healing journey starts with you, literally. So don't let anyone take that away from you or minimize that. Number 5, seek regulated support. You can talk to a therapist or a coach about your reactions, a trusted friend, someone who can relate. You can talk to me, survivor. I've got you, and I've been there. You can validate yourself when you engage with others who can relate, who can understand, and who can honor what has happened to you as your real lived experience and encourage and uplift you. Or you can document in a journal where you can record what has happened to you and see for yourself your truth. At the end of the day, your story is yours to explore. Understanding what has happened is not the same as obsessing. It's part of your survival. It's part of your healing journey. And I just want to encourage you that healing oftentimes does get misunderstood, even by people who mean well or strangers who don't care or who are out to push your buttons and trigger a reaction from you. And I want to encourage you to trust your gut, trust your why and your intent. Take some time to self-reflect. That'll absolutely distinguish you from the narcissistic or toxic individual in your life. And I did that too. When I saw that comment, I thought, you know what? Let me think about that. Yeah, no, that's not what went down. And I want to encourage you to not hand your power over to trolls, narcissistic or toxic individuals, or their enablers. Just say no. Don't do it. Remember, you searched for truth, not to obsess. You're healing and deserve no less. Thanks for tuning in, Survivor. You are worthy of truth and healing. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Hey, Survivor. Do you want to heal after narcissistic abuse? Come and join me in a closure coaching session. This is a 1-hour, one-on-one coaching call that's going to help you disconnect from dysfunction, create your own closure, and begin a long-lasting journey of healing, step by step. Head right now to closurecoachingsession.com. If this podcast has helped you understand who and what you're dealing with, sharpen your discernment, and move forward on your healing journey, share it with another survivor. Help me help others by leaving a review for the show. And let's connect on social. Take a screenshot, share it in your IG stories, find and tag me at The Vibrant Survivor, and I'll share your post too. I look forward to connecting with you on IG and seeing you back here. You're not alone and you're not crazy. Know who you're dealing with, know who you are. Take care and I'll meet you back here next week. Bye-bye.